All right, I think we're on. There we go. And just like that, we're on. All right, hello everybody. This is the Sights and Sounds of Earth. I like to say something right at the top for people who are watching later, but then I also like to give it a few minutes for folks to come in. So I'm going to say hi to my co-host, Daddy Kitty. Hello, Daddy Kitty. How are you doing tonight? When he licks the front left leg, that means he's doing good. All right. What you doing, buddy? All right, so anyway, yep, we're here tonight, and we are doing the show. It's Sunday night. Tomorrow's Monday, back to work already. Do you believe it? This weekend was come and gone, and just like that, and it's over with. I can see the next generation going on over on H&I, Heroes and Icons. I like to mention that because somewhere in the world, 24 hours a day, Star Trek is playing on broadcast television. It's actually a fact. And so I've always thought that was a neat quinky dink. So when I see it playing over there, I just like to mention that right now on broadcast television locally here, our Heroes and Icons channel coming in over the antenna is carrying Star Trek The Next Generation. And it will have Deep Space Nine at 10 o'clock. It had the original series at 8 o'clock. And it's also then got Voyager at 11 and Enterprise at midnight. So you can watch all the different series, and it's something like if you work in the evenings, it's something great to have on, you know, just to have playing, because it's neat. I think it's really cool that somewhere since about 1980-ish, right around 78, 80, Star Trek the original series has been playing in every hour block somewhere in the world, 24/7, 365. It's always playing somewhere. It's dubbed into 40-something languages. It's absolutely amazing. So I just like to draw attention to stuff like that. All right, hey, good evening, everybody. Hello, Victor. Hello, Mickey. And hey, Caleb at 928. What's up, buddy? How you doing? Glad you guys are coming in tonight. Let's go ahead and see what we got on the big board. We've got upper left, Skid Row tonight in Los Angeles, California. Guys, I just wanted to put this camera up tonight to show you guys how well things are going in California, and how Gavin Newsom is doing out there. Douche Newsom, as I call him. And I want you guys to take a moment tonight and reflect on how well the government works there and how well the people live there. Okay, and on the second window there, that's Kilauea quieting back down again tonight. She gets pissy and then she quiets back down again, kind of like a lot of our wives, right? But anyway, that's a joke because I don't really have one, so anyway, the point is it's calming back down. You can see there's something going on in the distance there too on that view. We did lose a camera yesterday. If I get to it, we can see it. There's not much to see. Rock coming down right in front of the camera. The camera begins to shake, and then it looks like the heat melts the lens. It continues to broadcast for several seconds, and then it gives out. Hey, Carlotta, what's up? Hey, Gator. Hey, Ross. Hey, Patrick. Yeah, I don't know, Car, I don't know if you were in last night, but man, Kilauea was pissy last night. She was shooting it way up in the air. It was pretty good. All right, anyway, volcanoes are fun right up until people start getting hurt and houses start burning down, and then I don't like them anymore. But then again, everything else is kind of like that too, you know. All right, right above me here, right up here, I got Times Square, where, I don't know, I just put that up. I needed to fill a hole. And over here, this one, that's Portland. The chopper's flying around. There's a protest going on. However, the last live stream has gone out. So this guy that I'm covering here, he's covering that. And so we'll see if that comes back on or what's going on. He's covering the chopper right now, using what looks like Flight Radar 24, which is the same thing we use here at Starship Adventures. All right, anyway, we've also got So that's Portland, Times Square, Kilauea, Skid Row, and then this one takes us on a tour all around the country, so you guys can see what it's like all around the country. There's Guilford, New Hampshire, 27 degrees. You can see the temperature in the upper right. King of Prussia, that's in Pennsylvania. That's 30 degrees there. So this is pretty cool. This will bring you a bunch of sights and sounds there. What are you doing? He just crashed out right here, right? Like, okay, I gotta show you guys this. This is what I'm dealing with right here. Looks like a plane crash. What happened? Are you gonna start climbing the ladder? She climbed the ladder for 45 minutes on the show last night. It was incredible. Not him, her. She did, the black one. She climbed that ladder for 45 minutes last night. Oh no. Oh, Car, I hope everything's okay. Yeah. I don't know if that's something I can show. You have to let me know. If so, I can show. Pops. Yeah, that's Pops. That's my big kitty. She calls him Pops. I call him Daddy Kitty. So it depends on what we called our father, I guess. But anyway, hey, Eyes. Junior, man, I got everybody coming in tonight. Junior, I answered your email. Let's see here. Mickey, thank you guys all for coming in tonight. I appreciate it. And Kevin, I think I missed you. You called me a young fellow. Okay. Your video's not working that well. Anyway, all right. So that's what we got going on. I'm glad to be here tonight. I love doing this, and I actually get a little giddy before the show. I just love doing it. I can show them. They're good. Okay. Let me get those pulled up here real quick while we're doing other things. All right. So I want you guys to note on the radar, it looks like it's starting to clear up there for you. Up north of Tampa there, it's clearing. It's now south in South Tampa, Bradenton, Ruskin, and about to come into Sarasota, and currently looking at a severe mesoscale discussion. What that means is the meteorologists are eyeballing this area in brown right here for minor mesoscale development, which just strong thunderstorms and rotation and things. So we're watching it, but right now there's not a lot. We do have one flood warning up here. It's a radar indicated flash flood warning. It expires in 7 minutes. That's up near Palm Harbor and Elfers. And then it's fun because it's rare I get to cover storms in my neck of the woods. This is it. We're down here. We had this little spritzer come through earlier, just enough to wet things a little bit. We need the rain. This is not going to bring us any rain that's going to help our problems down here with our crops and our wells going dry and things like that. But we'll take what we can get. The grass is literally dying. Like I said, we have two seasons in Florida, basically green and brown, and we're now in brown for sure. It just almost quits raining here in the fall, late fall, winter, and then even the early spring. We don't start getting rain sometimes until early July, sometimes early June, hopefully. Look, as a retired fire chief, I can tell you guys, I used to fight the fires. We used to spend 9 months a year building trucks for 3 months a year. We would start those trucks every morning and make sure they run. We would check the pumps, we would check everything. But the truth was, they hardly got used. Maybe a little flood here, or a rescue there, or maybe a structure fire and we're running some water or something like that. But for the most part, our brush trucks, we would have 2, 3, 4 brush trucks. And they were just literally there to protect people's homes. They were trucks that could get behind people's homes and protect homes. And keep people from losing their homes. So that's what they were about. And we used to build them out of military deuce and a halves. They're now building them out of military 5 tons. They're a little bit bigger. But we used to build them out of Deuces, and we used to build them out of M561 Gamma Goats. And I'm going to tell you guys something. There's no more unique vehicle in the world than an M561, 961 Gamma, what is it? M561 Gamma Goat, I think it was. It's a Gamma Goat. It's a articulating vehicle. It's 6 inline wheels, 3 on each side. And this thing will climb almost vertical, and it will float. It does all kinds of strange things that your car won't do. And we had 2 of those, and we also had 2 deuce and a halves during the time I was chief there. We built those. I can remember one day I was in there welding on a bumper on the truck, and I'm in there with my black shirt on, you know, and my black pants, and I'm in there welding on the truck, and this guy walks up and taps me on the shoulder, and I lift my shield, and he goes, "Excuse me, sir, can you point me to where your chief is?" And I looked at him and I smiled, and I went like that, and he goes, "You're the chief?" I said, "Yeah." He goes, "I never would have guessed." I said, "Yeah, I know, I get that a lot." But he goes, "What you doing?" I said, I'm welding this bumper back on. One of the guys hit a tree, this and that. He's like, "Wow, that's pretty cool. I never imagined I'd find you out here welding on a truck." And it's like, no, I loved it. I would work on the trucks. I wasn't an engine mechanic, but we had those too. And we would work on those trucks. We would listen to music in the bay. And it was a way to bond with the guys too. The officers would take their white shirts off and get out there and get dirty with the guys. It's something you do not see anymore. Those days are over. The chief, the captain, the lieutenants, we would all work on trucks. We would all go out and clean hose after a fire. It was just a different time. It was a different era. It was in the 80s and 90s, and very different. Okay, Carl, let me get those. I'm trying to get those pulled up. Where's my phone? God damn it. Hold on, I'll be right back. All right, it's going to take a minute. I left the phone in the car, and I don't know why it's dead. It shouldn't be dead, but whatever. It's an old phone. My new S20 that I bought worked for 4 months and died. Yeah, there you go. Lots of fog. We had fog down here last night. Last 2 nights were the foggiest nights we've had since probably last March. Fog is a winter phenomenon down here. It generally doesn't happen in the summer. And even though our humidity is 100%, the conditions are not right. It's just too warm and it doesn't happen. We rarely ever get sea fog here. That's another thing. They get what they call a marine layer or sea fog. That comes in like places like California, even up in the Northeast sometimes. Down here, sea fog's fairly rare. I can remember a day we were reporting, I was working at the station, and people kept calling up the newsroom and saying there was a strange fog rolling in from the Gulf of Mexico, or back then it was the Gulf of Mexico, and there's this fog rolling in, and that we should what should we do? What's going on? And of course, I suggested that we tell them, have you ever seen the movie The Fog? I would run. But no, it was a very thick marine layer that came in over Sanibel, and at 3 o'clock in the afternoon down here, it was a spring or fall type thing. This big marine layer comes over, and when that happens, it's very foggy, and We get most of the fog. 99% of our fog here is a overnight into morning phenomenon, and that's because of the the condensing of the atmosphere that happens in the evenings. The other night, I was out here right after I signed off the show. I was out here last night working on my radio. Remember I talked to you guys about my FT710 last night and how I couldn't get it going and it was a pain in the ass and all that. So anyway, spent 2 or 3 hours on it last night. Pulled up another computer, went through the whole thing, tried different wires, tried everything. I wired up my my old radio, my 756 Pro 2. I wired that up, got it all going so that I could listen, and it's putting out dead air and static going back and forth. So, hey VTX, what's up, buddy? Yeah, so it just doesn't work. It just doesn't work on the USB plug. So I've got a letter in right now to ham radio. What's going on? Oh, ham radio. What is it? Ham radio outlet, HRO. I don't want to get them mixed up with ham radio deluxe, HRD, which is a horrible, disgusting thing that you don't need or want. But that's ham radio deluxe. That's a program. Don't worry about that. Ham radio outlet, which I very much like, sold me this radio, and the USB doesn't work on it, and so it doesn't. The input doesn't work on it. And so what's going on is I sent them a letter earlier tonight, so they'll see it in the morning. And it just says, hey, look, I like the radio. I've been working phone on it. I love you guys. I love the radio. I need to talk to you about maybe something's wrong with the radio. Maybe I'm doing something wrong. Maybe you got somebody that can take 5 minutes and walk through the settings with me. Let's figure out what I'm doing wrong. Oh, you got fog there now? Wow, that's cool. Yeah, it set in early the last couple nights, and it may do it again tonight. I don't know though. We've got this storm system coming through. It'll get really moist right before this line. These two lines that you see on the screen there, you can't see the second one. There you can see there's two of them. And by the way, overnight probably more rain in Tampa too. This line right now going through Perry and the Big Bend, and then down here, like I said, this one's going. This was some very heavy rain that just come in here. Let me switch this to the other radar because this is so ugly. Let me switch this. There we. Oh, see, much better. Didn't that look better? All right. So here's where we are. Bradenton, just South Bradenton, just got their ass handed to them. Let's run this in a loop while I see if I can pull these pictures up. Daddy, you're right in front of where I'm looking. All I see is a weather thing. Let me see what I got here. If it's in the phone and it's just not showing. I guess it's still downloading. All right, it's letting me download this one. What are you doing, Daddy? It's hard to read, but what is that? 3.84 inches of rain? That's a lot of rain. Oh, just VLC will be fine. Boy, this has been an act of Congress getting this to play. Hold on.
Yep, it's raining just a little bit.
Okay, hold on. I'm getting it. Oh, jeez, what in the F? It's in upright.
Just a little bit.
It's in upright format, so it keeps resetting the player. Hold on, damn it.
Yep, it's raining just a little bit.
Yeah, oh my lord, whatever. This is just ridiculous. All right, here's the video.
Yep, it's raining just a little bit.
And that's the video. And I got that, and I got a picture of a weather station. That's what I got. But anyway, yeah, there. Oh wait, Joseph sent one. Hold on. Let me see here. Hold on, just a second. I hate trying to do all this. It's like 50 million things. Oh God, guys, I'll have to do this tomorrow. I can't do it. It's just not. It's this freaking thing is fighting me tonight. It's been fighting me all day, and it's fighting me tonight. So anyway, it's yeah, that's cool. I will check it out later. I'm sorry. It's just not going to do it for me. It's difficult because they're in text, and I have to use that Google messaging program. Okay, I'm reading the text, guys. Yeah, I will download those videos and we'll show them tomorrow. That's what I'm gonna do. This thing is just, some things you just can't do on the fly with this thing anymore. All right. So anyway, Jesus, I don't know why it won't play. But I'm not gonna fight with it right now. I'm gonna admit something tonight. I'm not in a good mood. I've had a rough day, and I'm not gonna talk about it. I'm just, I don't know. It's been a really shitty day, and I'm here anyway, and we're gonna do it. I've had a lot of shitty days lately. All right, so tonight the first thing up that we need to talk about is we had another CME today. All eyes are on that that monster sunspot that's out there, and it is huge. It's a big sunspot, and right now it's like that's what everybody's talking about. But the truth is that sunspot has yet to release another solar flare. So basically, we're still looking at the three that we've had in the last 5 days, have all come from the little ones up top. It's not those big ones. It's weird. We may get away. They're facing us right now, and they're passing. So as we get into tomorrow, it'll get a little better as we go into the next few days. And so that's kind of where we're at. But we did have a solar flare last night, and this is what it looks like. This is the solar flare. There you go. They call it it was the wrong sunspot. This was an Earth-directed solar flare. It will be geo-effective. The monster is quiet right now, but this other sunspot here, earlier today, it cut loose. 4299 erupted and hurled a CME towards Earth. And what's going on right now is that all that stellar material, that whatever you want to call it, is now moving towards Earth, and so basically, there's a pretty good chance we're going to get auroras on the 7th. I think it is. Damn it. Everything's fighting me tonight. Thanks, Dana. Thanks for joining the crew. I appreciate it. Tonight's probably not going to be my best work. I'm just not having a good day. I've got just a million things right now that are just like screwed up. All right, so let's get this down here and move this over here. That way I can show you a few other things we got going on. Okay. All right, there we go. That's better. That's what we got going on. Let's see here. I want to also show you guys the forecast has come out from NASA, and this is what they're this is what they're talking about on the forecast, and it looks like we are going to get some of this. So probably get quite a bit of it. You can see here. Let me hit play. There we go. You can see that it is Earth directed. Earth is the green. You are here. And boom, we're going to get a pretty good hit from it. And you can look at it here on the other, one's the left, one's the x-axis and one's the y-axis. Here we go. It releases the energy from the sun. And here it comes. And see how it scoops up the energy out ahead of it? And boom, it hits us. So that looks like it's going to be a direct hit. So there's a pretty good chance on the 7th, or not the 7th, what are they saying? Hold on, the 9th, December 9th, which is day after tomorrow, Tuesday night, we're going to have a chance to talk about up to G3 storms. Am I worried about power outages or crazy? No, it's not that bad. It's not going to be that bad. Yes, an airplane recently dropped thousands of feet because it was hit by cosmic rays. And that's true. We talked about this on the other show, and I mentioned on here. Yes, what basically happened was this flight was flying at flight altitude with the autopilot on, and suddenly the plane just dropped. Like it was in a wind stream or some wind shear or something. But the thing was, it wasn't. The autopilot just suddenly went berserk. And it recovered pretty quickly. The guys were able to shut off the autopilot, get the plane back under control. There was like 15 injuries or something. It was a pretty big deal. I don't have the exact facts in front of me, so I'm giving you the synopsized version here. But anyway, what they determined that it was that like cosmic rays, like protons from space basically, are coming down, and they interact with the circuitry, you got all kinds of different chips in there with very fine hairs and things like that are required. And when some of these technologies, these newer technologies, get struck by cosmic rays, it basically, the computer will start feeding the wrong information, and it'll get 11001100, and then all of a sudden it'll just go crazy and go 111111. And on a plane, what that can do, if 1 or 2 or 3 of your sensors suddenly start giving crazy readings, your autopilot's going to think your plane's crashing, and it could do something crazy. Or maybe it was beyond the logic, and simply it just affected the control mechanisms and things like that. I don't know, but it had to do with the fact that these protons directly interacted with new technology that's on the plane. Now, should I worry the next time I get on a plane that cosmic rays are going to take me the F down? Negative. No. look, you're just as likely to get taken down by a coronal mass ejection or lightning or maybe the dust coming up from a volcano. There's a lot of things that take planes out of the sky, and it rarely happens anymore. So basically what I'm saying is, no, this is nothing. You shouldn't be sitting there fastening your seatbelt thinking, oh God, no cosmic rays. It's not that big a deal. This does happen every now and then. It's very, very, very rare. Here's the good news. The newer planes already have hardened devices that prevent this. There is ways to prevent this using redundancies and shielding and different things. They're able to prevent this from happening, or at least prevent most of it from happening. And so a lot of the newer planes are already hardened against this kind of onslaught of energy, I guess you would call it. It's not an attack. It's just it's energy from space. Those pieces of energy that hit that plane, that energy could have traveled for hundreds of thousands of years, or a millennia, or 5, and you have no idea how long that's been traveling to come in contact with that board on that plane that's moving at 360 miles an hour across the sky at 34,000 feet flight level. When you think about that, it's crazy. It's like when you look up at the stars, you should feel blessed. And I'm going to tell you why. This is something you may have never thought of before. Every twinkle of light that you see in the sky, almost everyone, not the planets, but all the twinkling stars, every star that you see, that light, in order to reach your eye at that moment, that light was made by a star 1,000 or 10,000 or 100,000 years ago. And it projected that light into space. And that light has traveled and traveled and traveled for so far that it's attenuated a little bit. That's why you get the twinkling. That in atmosphere too. And so what ends up happening? It finally travels for 75,000 years across all this space, thousands of light years of space. And it finally reaches Earth. It comes through the atmosphere and it goes into your eye, and your brain perceives that star as existing in reality. You are part of a big universe. It's a big deal. And so when I go out and look at the stars, I think about it differently. When I look at the moon, I think about how fortunate we are that we have the moon. If it wasn't for the moon, we never would have existed. There would never have been intelligent life here. That's why I think they had to put it where it was. Let's leave that for another show. But I really believe that when you go out and look at the stars, you are looking every 1,000 points of light that you see in the sky, all those different points of light, every single one, has all been traveling a vastly different amount of time to get here. They were all projected from a different star on different wavelengths of light. They traveled mostly at the same speed, nearly the same speed, at the speed of light. I know that seems weird, but we're not even 100% sure that that's a constant in the universe. See, everybody just assumes that light speed is a constant in the universe. Is it? I don't know. There's a lot of things we can't explain. I don't think light speed is a constant speed in the universe. I really don't. I think it's going to take us breaching it and getting past it and all that before we get to the point where we're going to be able to figure it out. All right, so anyway, back to this. You can see that you guys have watched that wave come in 100 times now. That's awesome sauce. Let me go ahead and put this back on this radar. Take a look at what's going on now. Someone's about to get their ass handed to them. Let's take a look at this. This is going to be coming in here. I don't have an exact speed on these storms. This is lightning strikes. I'm going to pull up a camera here in just a minute and shoot it over that way. I have 3 tower cams on 3 different towers. Let's go live to the tower cam. See if I can get that to come up here. Put that over here. I'm gonna put that up. Just give me a second. I need to capture it. All right, so side capture. Here we go. Window capture. Tower cam. See, I don't have this queued up, so it just takes me a minute to go in and pull it up, and then to just go in and queue it, get it set, and then we'll be able to see the sky outside the studio here. We may hear this thunder when it comes through. Yeah, that is really messing with my cameras. I don't know. I don't know if I'm going to leave it up or not. Alright, let's try it. I'm going to transition it in. Alright, there's my camera there, bottom center. But if I can't get everything else to steady down, then I can't do it. Some of these, I don't know what you want to call them, programs from overseas. They're absolute memory hogs. They're not designed to work with, you know, like broadcast television or whatever. So this may not even work. It looks like the computer is really struggling with this. Yep, that's not going to work, so let me get rid of that. Let me try something else. Because you know what I always say, there's always options. Put up some bigger lights in the yard and stuff, but the problem is all these lighting angles now and my camera angles, they're not all working good together. I may not be able to use this one either. I don't know. This may be a problem. Just stay there, that'll work. Alright, let me move this over here and see what it does. I'll keep it small. Just get rid of that one. Alright, hold on guys, we're on the fly here. I've tried 3 things on the fly and the first 2 didn't work, so let's let me see if I can get this working. It's not a good, I'm not having a good luck night here. Alright, let me reset this. Okay, so we've got this storm system moving in here, and I'm going to check the rest of the nation here in just a second for you. I just wanted to get this working. All right, there we go. And there we go. So this is my other tower camera that's on the other tower, looking off to the northwest. That will show us lightning when we start to get to seeing it there. But I don't know We're looking at quite a bit of lightning out here, but I haven't really seen any flashes yet, but we're going to keep an eye out for that. Okay, so yeah, this is in Florida right now. You guys are looking at in Florida. There's an area here where they're having there's a mesoscale discussion box here, this brown box. There's also a marginal risk of strong weather in this area as well, and we are in that area. We're down here, our studio's down here, and this thing is right now coming in. It's going to come into Northport really hard here in just a minute, and I want to analyze this just for a second here, because this is pretty strong stuff coming in, coming into Northport, but I don't see anything severe, and I don't think they see anything severe. Oh, the split screen doesn't really work well with you guys on there like that. So let's do this. Let me change this from high res reflectivity to high res velocity, and we can see there is some circulation in here, guys. That is a big thunder cell right there. Look at that. Let me set this for a short duration, 7 frames. And let's watch this for 7 frames. Look at that. Arcadia, this is coming right down 70. I was just in Arcadia earlier today, in fact. But yeah, Arcadia coming down 70 right now. All right. And then, yeah, a little bit of rotation here that's going to come on shore. I don't see anything I would classify as a couplet. In fact, what this looks like up here, that looks like a bow echo. Let me look at that back again over on the other radar. High res reflectivity. Yeah, that's a bow echo. That's what's going on. And here's what's going on. This, when it juts out like this and it creates a bow, that's a bow echo. And it's moving in this direction, and wherever it hits, they're going to get 40, 60, 70 mile an hour wind gusts, but only for a minute or two. It goes by pretty quick. So yeah, that's probably some straight line winds there. There's not a lot between there and Arcadia, but that is going to come into Arcadia at some point. Whether it holds together, I don't know. And then we've got some pretty strong weather coming into Venice right now, South Venice. That just updated right there, with some lightning right off the coast. Look at that. It goes all the way out. So, but right now, no severe warnings. No severe warnings, but they are watching this thing like a hawk. And this thing's probably going to come through about right around the end of the show here. So we're going to keep an eye out for it. It's coming. There is a little bits of rotation in there. We don't have a huge tornado risk down here like they do sometimes. All right, so Kilauea is starting to smoke more again. I don't know if she's about to go off again. I'm sure the locals have been down there dumping liquor down there. They're going to try to calm her down. And also we've got Portland and Times Square. Portland, we had live shots up right at the top, but then it went to a map. He's tracking choppers up there right now. But if we do get a feed again, I don't think there's anything going on, guys. I don't. But if we get a feed from Portland, it will come up there. And then, of course, Skid Row, because I like you guys to see how successful California and their policies have been out there. So, yeah, thanks, everybody. I do appreciate you guys all coming in tonight. This is the Sights and Sounds of Earth. My name is Ian, and we are broadcasting tonight live. I'm with my co-host, Daddy Kitty, and we are live here, and Mama Bleep's back there sleeping. And we are live tonight in Starship Studios which is my backyard studios that I built here in North Fort Myers. And we are coming to you on YouTube, which is the world's largest broadcast platform. And we are connected to the internet via fiber optic. And we are live, and we are on it right here, right now. So there you go. This is it. This is the studio. And we're here every night, 9 p.m. Eastern. And I come on and do about a 2-hour show, sometimes a little less, sometimes a little more. About a 2-hour show. Yeah, well, look, if you live in California, I'm sorry. It's facts are facts. Nothing personal. I mean, of course. But anyway, I hope, let me tell you, California is the most beautiful state in the Union. It is the most diverse climatologically. It is an amazing place. It had Hollywood. Now it's lost most of that, but it had it's just an amazing place. There's places there I want to see, like Vasquez Rocks and stuff like that. But I don't know. It's just kind of been ruined by all the way they run things out there. Yeah, well. I did want to show you guys this real quick. This was pretty cool. Let me put this on. Oops, that's the wrong one. There it is. Look at this. This is the CME. You can see there the CME blasting out from the sun. And the reason it goes out in every direction is because it's heading towards us directly. They call that a full halo CME because we can see it moving out all the way around the disk, which means we are in the line of sight. And that's basically how they do that. All right, so we are watching this coming into Northport, Inglewood, Rotunda West, Rotunda, the whole thing. South Venice, already getting it pretty bad. I don't see any tornadic anything yet, but there's a little bit of rotation here that makes me a little nervous. And there's also a what looks like an outcropping here on this upper one. And so there is a little bit of concern here. Let's go ahead. I want to take a quick peek at the latest high-res velocity, and there you can see down here offshore we've got quite a bit of rotation out there, but not a couplet. Up here we've got what looks like straight line winds. I think these are starting to take a little more of a southerly trip. This might miss Arcadia, but this is, whoever's right in front of this is going to get a really strong wind gust. Yep, there it is. All right, so yeah, that we definitely, you know, I don't know. This is another feature that they just added. This is storm relative velocity, and you can see, I mean, there does want to be rotation right there. Not really a couplet, but kinda. And then this here again, I think it may miss Arcadia. It kind of looks like it wants to move off in this direction. So Arcadia, you might miss it. Yeah, you can see where it comes in here. It's going to come through Edgeville, but it may start trekking south of 70, and if it does, it will miss Arcadia proper. Um, let's put that in motion, 7 frames, and see what it looks like. Let's go 14 frames. It's hard to tell, but it does look like it wants to track south of 70. My family's cemetery is right over here in Arcadia. I have family that grew up in Arcadia. I used to go to family reunions there. It's a beautiful little town. They've got Antique Day. It's like the first Saturday of the month or the last Saturday, something. They've got Antique Day, and everybody brings their tables and sets up down and down on the main road and everything. It's just a beautiful, beautiful little town called Arcadia, Florida. And I love the place. My family has roots in history there. And my great grandfather was born there, right outside of town, I know of a lot of different people that have been born here. Anyway, yeah, I don't think we're going to see anything quite as dramatic as it falling into the ocean. However, it is falling into financial ruin, which is close enough. I'm sad about it because I love California. I think it's an amazing place. I think it's amazing. I think one of the reasons why it was so successful for so long was because the pioneers went there. You know, all the people stayed in England 300-400 years ago. Most people stayed in England. The ones that traveled to the Americas, they were the adventurers. They were the people with the hearts and the souls, and they were the people that would go adventuring and take boats across oceans, and where they still thought there might be krakens and the edge of the earth out there and all this bullshit. And these people, they went out. Well, thank you, Caleb. I appreciate that a lot. I really do. Thank you very much. But these people would venture out in these boats and going to the new land. So who did we end up with here versus there? There they ended up with people who like things, they like normalcy. They like living in small places and keeping to themselves, and they're English, they have their tea, everything's cool. That's great. Who's over here? You're crazy people. You're people who were like, F you, I'm out of here. I'm not paying your tax. Kiss my ass. Those are the people that came over here. And so we're a different kind of people. And so many of the people here came from those people originally that were, F you, I'm taking a boat. It may not make it. I don't know. Those people were the ones that came here. And that's why we're a different breed than your Europeans. Not a bad thing. Different. That's all. But here's the thing. The next time it happened, it was a California thing. People started venturing west, okay? We had the guys that went out there and discovered the West, and news spread quickly that there was gold in them there hills, and next thing you know, people are all heading across the country, going to California to see if they can get some of that gold and whatever else. A lot of them just went out there and got scabies. But anyway, the point is, they went out there, and so what did California end up with? The adventurers again. They ended up with the people that were like cutting edge. F you, I'm gonna buy a wagon and a horse, and I'm taking my family across this freaking desert. I don't even know if we're gonna live. There's Indians, we're gonna have to circle wagons. It's a bunch of bullshit. And so, who ended up in California? The adventurers, the people who were the crazy ones, the cool ones, the ones that were like making things and inventing things and doing things. A lot of them ended up in California. A lot of them ended up in Texas. A lot of them ended up in other places, in Florida even. So you can see why you have different kinds of people. I'm not talking culture as much as I'm talking drive. In England, they're just fine with the way it is. They get taxed to death and they're just okay with it. Just do it gently into my butthole. And they're fine with it, okay? And they're okay. It's okay. We're in England. Everything's cool here. Australia, on the other hand, there's another example of, we sent the prisoners there, we sent the radicals there, we sent the adventurers there, we sent people there that wanted to go there and that went there as prisoners. And who ended up there? A lot of them were the employees. A lot of them were sent there. They all ended up there, and they've created this wonderful country down there now. And that's a whole different kind of people down there. They've got drive and stamina, and they love to do things, and they're just a great people. You can see, if you trace back where each culture comes from. And I'm talking right now about cultures spawned from England. Okay, that's what I'm talking about specifically. Cultures spawned from England. When you start looking at where they ended up and how they're vastly different, we're very different than our Aussie counterparts. We're very different than our West Coast counterparts, and we're very different than, I think, we're very different than people that live in the UK. It's not a bad thing, it's a different thing. But I think a lot of that is because when there was these migrations, it was the radicals, the crazies, the adventurers, the people today that would be skydiving and ziplining and taking a boat across the Atlantic. Those are the kind of people back then that went to California. And that's why a lot happened in California. A lot was invented in California. Hollywood was born. I mean, we look at all the amazing things that happened in California because they ended up with all the movers and shakers. They ended up with all the people that wanted to really be there and do it and all that. And so that gave them that edge. Now, what's happened over the last 30 years? Well, most of those people have moved to Texas and Nevada and Florida, and they're moving rapidly right now because California is no longer that state anymore. California has become the woke state, the state where everybody's offended, and we're going to exclude everybody trying to include everybody. And it's the state where you can see there Skid Row in Los Angeles, and they're doing it the wrong way. I'm sorry, but they're doing it the wrong way. You know why Skid Row looks like that? I'm going to blame a bunch of people, and then I'm going to say it's not their fault, okay? I'm sorry, but this is the way it works. Skid Row is the fault of the government, number one. But not the government because they won't give them free housing. Not the government because they won't give them food stamps. Not because they probably get all this. They could probably get Section 8 housing. They could probably get food stamps. A lot of them won't even, most homeless people won't bother with the paperwork. That's the whole thing about being homeless, is the lack of responsibility, complete lack of responsibility. That's what they want. They want to live in a life where all they're responsible for is the next 3 or 4 hours. Finding something to eat, finding an old cigarette butt to smoke. That's all I really care about. Maybe getting some liquor for later. And that becomes their existence. And it's so, the government's partially responsible because they're not enforcing things. They're allowing them to just live on the street and this and that. But do I believe that the cops should go roust them out every night and make them move and be a total pain in the ass? No, I don't like that plan either. These are humans. They're people. So, I mean, the whole homeless thing, the next problem with the homeless thing, okay, is people misidentify what homelessness is, okay? 1/3 of homeless people are hopelessly addicted to drugs. That's the bottom line. 1/3 of homeless people are mentally ill, and 1/3 of homeless people want a complete cessation of responsibility. They no longer want keys in their pocket. Remember, every key on your key ring is a responsibility. And some people don't want it. Some people don't want it. And so you got 3 different kinds of bums out there. And I think it's important that we recognize that. They all this and they all that. You can't say stuff like that when it comes to homeless people. 2/3 of them want to be right where they're at. And that's the problem people have a hard time with. They wouldn't be living out on the street except what? They can get a hand out and a hand up anytime they want it. But if you go to the shelter, you got to follow the rules. If you go to the government this or the government that, you got to follow the rules. That doesn't play into what they're doing. The mental people want nothing to do with the government because they roust them out, they put them in jail, it's terrible. They don't ever provide the help or the medication they need, and when they do, they don't take it anyway. It's a hopeless situation. But then I love and blame at the same time the religious organizations, the faith-based organizations, the non-faith-based organizations that are feeding people down there. They're not doing anything wrong. I love these people. Matter of fact, God loves these people, and that's important. But the problem is you're enabling. And so someone like me that thinks with this instead of this, I have to look at homelessness as a problem that's created by enabling. Remember, 1/3 of these people are there because they don't want responsibility. If you stop 3 times a day and hand them a meal, and the government lets them put a tent there, and they've got a corner to shit and piss in back there, they found a hose down the street that they can bathe in a couple times a week if they bother, and so they can live that life they want. And see, everybody always says, well, why can't we just make a place? This is my favorite one. Why can't we make a place where the bums can go? And I use that term very loosely. Where the homeless people can go, that's safe, where they can get a little square that they can set up their tent. They can live how they want. We'll put a public bathroom in with a shower so they can clean up and they can shit. I would be okay with that, but here's the problem. They've tried it over and over and over, and the problem is, number one, we make a community. Once you make a community, I don't care whether it's a campground or an HOA or a neighborhood or a business of workers, it's a community. Once you create a community, you have to have 2 things. 2 things that these people don't want. Do you want to know what those 2 things are? I'm going to tell you. You have to have these 2 things in order to have a community. You have to have, number 1, rules and accountability. You have to. Okay? These people don't want that. You have to have rules and you have to have accountability, and they don't want that. They want to live on the street. They want to steal when they want to steal. They want to eat what they can find. They want to smoke what they can get off the side of the road. So if you give them a place, you immediately have to impose rules because it's a community. These tents are right next to each other. You can't have a guy blasting his boombox. He lives in a government-sanctioned community now. The moment he blasts his boombox, they're going to get complaints. Aisle 36, tent 12. This guy's blasting his stereo again. That's number 1. Number 2, most of them won't move there because the moment they move there, you're going to make them sign paperwork. You're going to make them promise to do things. You're going to make them smoke in a corral. You're going to make them hide their booze. You're going to make them hide their drugs. They can't do any of the things they like to do. Do you think they're going to move in there? And of course, a lot of them have a mental illness, and it would be nice for them. But the problem is you get that many people with a mental illness in one place, and you're going to have a lot of problems. This place ends up being where all your cops spend all their time. Instead of protecting your home, they end up dealing with this homeless encampment that we've created under the government tent. And they don't work. They don't work. So what's the solution, you're asking? So what's the solution? If the Christians should stop feeding them, which I'm not really suggesting that, but I'm just saying if that's really what needs to happen, they need to stop feeding them. The government needs to come in and say, look, you can go over there in that field, you can go over there in that field, but you can't be out here on the public right away. I'm sorry. You've got to, you can't live out here like this. And if the food dried up, and the space to pitch the tent dried up, we would they would move on. Now, that just ends up moving it to the next town. That's not necessarily the answer either. So what is the answer? Funny farms? You know, the government used to have funny farms all over the place. I know because I've actually been friends with people that studied them and stuff. It's pretty interesting, really, all the different funny farms that we had around the insane asylums, what they used to call them back then. Come to find out, most of them were hotbeds for abuse. Anyway, we have all these things, all these nut houses all around, and now we ask ourselves, where are all the nuts today? We don't have a nut house. There's not a nut house anywhere. We had 2 or 3 nut houses within 50 miles of here. They're all sitting there right now. They're dead. Where'd all the nuts go? Well, I'll tell you. New medicines, new therapies, new treatments have cured a lot of people, have made a lot of people to where they have a quality of life. They've made people to where they can fit into reality. I know we want to always blame Big Pharma and they suck and all that. For some people it works. And so when we make blanket statements, sometimes we're talking about something where it actually helps more than it hurts. And I think this is one of those cases. So about half the people don't need a Salem asylum anymore, and the other half are in prison. It's unfortunate, but that's what's happened. They're living in the state or federal prison on some long-ass sentence, and that's how the government now keeps them out of our hair. Well, Kevin, I'm not like that. I'm not like that. I believe these people, you know, they're Americans. A lot of them. They're protected by the Constitution. I would like to find a way to deal with it where we're helping and not hurting. I would like to find a way to deal with this where we need to separate these people into 3 groups and deal with the groups separately. The first problem we have with homelessness is that we deal with these 3 groups as if they're one group. They're not. You got crazies, signal 20s as we call them, and that's like 30-40%. And then you've got the no responsibility people. And then you've got the people that have really bad criminal records and they use a lot of drugs. And they can't even get a job anymore because their criminal history, and they end up just living on the streets doing petty crimes to get their fix every night. And that's your third kind of bum. And so what you end up with is 3 distinctly different kinds of people. Okay? And we always deal with them as if they're only one kind of people. I think we need to deal with the mental issues, the mental health issues separately. Those people need to be identified and helped if possible. I don't know what. I'm not sitting here with the miracles, okay? But I do know that if we did this where the doctor just treated you for everything, we don't know what it is. We're going to give you a bunch of antibiotics. I mean, you can't do that. And that's kind of what we're doing here, really. We're treating the problem as if it's one big problem. It's not. It's a lot of people with mental illness, a lot of people that have given up on society, want no responsibility whatsoever, and a lot of people that live a criminal and drug-laced life. Those are your 3 types. And I should write a book on this shit. Hey, the Lone Silencer, what's up, buddy? Hey, Dom. And hey, Heath, what's up? Let's see here. Well, Kevin, I don't think we disagree as much as we agree. I don't know where the percentages lie. I just know that I used to work in law enforcement. I worked in the fire department for many, many years. I dealt with probably hundreds of homeless people over the years, and people that were partially homeless, people that became homeless, people that climbed out of homelessness. And I actually was best friends with a guy whose dad ran the homeless shelter here in town. So I kind of have some unique perspectives on this, and I've lived, born and raised here in this town, and I've seen it happen and develop over the years. We don't have a huge homeless problem here. It's not because our Christians won't feed them. It's not because we don't have homeless shelters. It's not even that our cops are really big assholes. It's just, it's not a thing here because we don't constantly enable it and focus on it and concentrate on it. In other words, we don't entice these people to come here. When you come here, it's going to be difficult. There is no Florida benefits for you. In California, you get everything. You get free health care. You get everything. Why would you come to Florida? We don't give you anything. You get your food stamps. If you got kids, we'll give you WIC. If you've got, whatever. If you qualify for Section 8, we do that down here. We will help you. We do have a lot of the same programs they have in these liberal states, but we don't do quite nearly as much with it, and you have to be way qualified to get it, and it works a lot better. It doesn't work great because government never works great, but the government down here works pretty good. They have food stamp audits. They cut people off after certain periods of time. You can't just let social programs run amok, because one of the things that happens when you let social programs run amok is all the bums from all over the country move to sunny California. And that's exactly what's happened here. They now have the largest homeless population. They're not in Texas. The weather's great in some parts of Texas. They're not here. They're not in Georgia. Where are they at? Where are all the homeless people? They're all in California. They're all out on that West Coast. Why? Because it's off the deep end liberal. And they can go out there and they can, hi Mama, did you say hi to everybody now that you got up from your nap? Oh, that was a big yawn. I think I saw her colon. Say hi. Say hi. Hi everybody. Why don't you ever say hi? Pain in the ass. Anyway, she's hanging out. I got 2 shack cats. I let her in because she got really sick. And I wasn't letting cats in here because they get on the keyboards all the time. The hair's everywhere. Well, I'm just dealing with that now. I let her in because she got really ill. She almost died. She got like pneumonia or something. And she was very sick. She's finally put her weight back on. She's doing good. But while that was going on, she changed her status from outdoor to indoor. And she now lives in the studio. Well, once that happened, Daddy Kitty's like, hey, wait a minute. That bitch is living in there now? How's that possible? And he got mad. He came and talked to me. He's like, dude, look, she's living in there? What's up with that? And so I said, all right. And so it was really cold that night. It got down to almost freezing. It got down to 40. And it was cold. For my cats, for Florida cats, that's cold. The blood's thin down here. And so I let him in here. And once he came in, he won't leave now. He checked indoor, I'm indoor, make the litter box, let's go. And so now I have 2 cats living in the studio. I got 3 indoor cats in the house. And then I've got 2 outdoor cats. And then I got 3 strays I take care of. Caleb, you are absolutely right when it comes to the homeless thing. We never treat the problem. We never treat what's causing the problem. We only treat the results of the problem, and that's the problem. When New York takes an old hotel and they fill it full of homeless people, and that homeless people destroy the building so bad that when they were done and all the homeless people moved back out again 6 months later, they went in and gutted the building. It was complete loss inside. I think they kept the superstructure. And that's terrible. But that's the kind of thing that happens. Because why? You don't have respect for something you didn't pay for. You only have respect for things that you pay for, that you respect things that you worked for, and these people have no respect for anything. That's part of the thing. Like I said, 1/3 of them want no responsibility at all. That includes things like, I didn't feel like going to the bathroom, getting up and going to the bathroom, so I just pissed in the bed. That's literally how they think. And then, of course, you got the 1/3 that's just hopelessly addicted drug addicts with long criminal records. And you got 1/3 that has mental illness. And it's a, what do they call those things? A Venn diagram. Because they overlap. This guy has an addiction because he's nuts. This guy doesn't want any responsibility. That's why the cops keep arresting him. So, I mean, it is a Venn diagram. I'm glad Kamala Harris is not here. She'd be going, I love those Venn diagrams. All right. Yeah, it happens in a lot. It happens, generally speaking, homelessness is only a problem in blue areas of the country. You can go to a place like Baltimore or Boston or Philadelphia or New York or LA, and you're going to find a huge homeless problem. Those places all have Democrat mayors, Democrat councilmen, Democrat wardsmen, Democrat counselors, Democrat fire chiefs and police chiefs, and Democrat and that's what you end up with. You voted these people in, and now what you have is a crime-ridden town that's slap full of all these people who never signed in. They didn't stop and sign in. They broke in. And so it's crazy. These people, they're literally wanting all these illegals to come into their state because they think they're going to get counted on the next census. I'm telling you guys, I don't think it's going to happen that way. I think the next census is only going to count citizens, which is the way it should be. The census should only count citizens. If you've allowed a bunch of illegals to come into your state, that's your problem. But the federal government shouldn't give you representation for your illegals. They shouldn't give you say in Congress and House for your illegals. Why? Why should you get another congressional seat when all the people that made that congressional seat possible don't vote and are illegal here? And so if that happens, and I think that's going to end up happening, we hopefully won't have this problem anymore. Mama Bleep. Caleb, I believe that's why we don't have a cancer cure. I hate to say it, brother, but it's because all the money in cancer is made in treatments, not cures. Even if they charged $10,000 for the cure to cancer, they're going to lose money. They're going to lose their shirt. Why? Because you're not going through chemo. You're not going through radiation. You're not getting all these fancy scans and exams. You're not going in for all these appointments. Come on. Even if I charged you $20,000 for the cure, I'm going to lose money. Because by the time you're cured of cancer, you and your insurance company will be in for $150,000. And so I actually, in my mind, I believe that even if we don't have the cure, which, by the way, AI's actually had some breakthroughs just in the last week. Cure for cancer is coming. Stand by. Stations near you. But that being said, I believe that even if we don't have the cure right now, if they didn't have the cure, they could have had the cure. But there's no research going into a cure for cancer. Most of the research, there's nonprofit research that goes into the cure. All of the profit research goes into treatments. They're spending all kinds of money on new radical chemotherapy treatments and all kinds of money on new ways to direct and focus radiation and other therapies now, and ways to build appetites and things like that, ways to get people to become healthy again while they're going through these horribly invasive cancer killing processes. And think about it. If all that time and effort and money that was spent on finding ways to treat cancer, if all that money, time, and energy and research and doctors and time was all devoted to curing cancer, it'd have been done. But that's not what they're doing. Now, there is nonprofits and privates and stuff out there that are. I swear I think it's getting foggy here. And wow, there's Oregon. Government Camp Oregon. It is pouring up there. Let's take a look at what's going on around the country here. Yeah, we've got some weather moving in up here as well. Doesn't look like that big a deal. It really doesn't. It looks worse on that camera than it does than it does in real life. It's just some light rain coming in off the Pacific there. No big deal. And we got this area here that we're watching in New Orleans. Another little frontal boundary coming through here. And here it comes. All right, we'll take an eye there, and that's going to be coming through. It just went through Baton Rouge, and it's going to be coming into New Orleans, coming up here in just a few minutes. All right, let's see what else we got going on. Another story I wanted to talk to you about. Let me find it. Yeah, we'll do this here. Let me turn that off. All right, give me a second here to reconfigure. Kilauea's 37th eruptive episode lasted over 9 hours and was followed by a magnitude 4.6 earthquake. Is this not going to load? What is the deal? Let me get a different browser. I have problems sometimes with I have issues sometimes with Fox News and Fox Weather, and I don't know what it is about their website. There's something weird about their website. Whoa, what is going on here? Okay, yeah, this yeah, hold on, everybody. I don't know what's going on. It just got crazy. Alright, let's try to run this here. This computer is struggling the last couple of weeks, and so I may have to switch to the laptop for a couple nights and do a reset or something on this thing. I don't want to do that, but it may end up, because it's really messed up right now. I don't know what it's even doing. It's like locked up. I think I'm locked. I don't know what this thing's doing. I don't even know if I'm on the air at this point. The whole thing just locked up. It's starting to come up. It's starting to loosen up here. What the hell? see if that helps. Okay, hold on. I almost got this. This thing is fighting me tonight, guys. It's fighting me big time. All right, here we go. All right, yeah, this is the eruption that happened yesterday. We were watching the end of it last night when we came on, and you can see there that it's throwing that debris. You see is igneous rock. I mean, it's heavy rock. I know it looks like debris or confetti or something, but it's actually rocks. There's probably a lot of ash in there as well. And you can see it's going bigger and bigger, and to the point where the camera, it comes right up to the camera, and then eventually it hits the camera. And you have to remember, this is daytime, you don't see it, but these rocks are glowing hot. They're literally glowing hot. Boom, there it goes. That's really close to the camera there, that last one. And I think what's going to happen here, you'll see it, I think the optics melt. But the camera continues to broadcast for several seconds through what looks like a melted lens. Here it goes. The heat wave overtakes the camera here, and you see the optics end up melting. And then the camera continues broadcasting for a few more seconds, and then the equipment fails. And there you go. That's what happens. That's true, Dom. You're absolutely correct. All right, so that was that. They did lose one of the. We did lose one of the cameras. The V3 camera was lost. You cleaning me? Is it that bad? Why are you cleaning me? Oh, that's weird. That camera died. It's happened 2 or 3 times now. That's stupid. There we go, now it's working. I got this cat licking me over here. What's the deal? What are you doing, Mama? It's a good kitty. All right, everybody, this is the Sights and Sounds of Earth. We're going to be on for a little while longer. We are monitoring the happenings and the what-tos and the whereabouts that are going on all over the country and the world right now. We're currently have a number of live views. I'm broadcasting live tonight from my studios here in Southwest Florida, which is Fort Myers, and we are broadcasting worldwide on YouTube. And this is Starship Studios. Welcome aboard the ship, everybody. I hope you guys are enjoying the show. We're on every night at 9 p.m. Tonight on the big screen, we've got Skid Row. We're watching, well, you know what it is. And the Kilauea starting to smoke up again. Look at that. It's, I don't know if it's going to do something here or not, but it's starting to smoke up again. And we've got a rolling group of cams here over in the upper right that we're rolling through. And then we're watching Portland, where there was some unrest, but I don't think there is anymore. And the guy's showing aircraft tracking now. So, and then Times Square, where pretty much nothing going on. People standing around watching electronic billboards. There you go. And it looks like Nog and Jake are on Deep Space Nine over there. That's this is probably season 5 or 6, because Nog is in the academy. That's an academy uniform. Yeah. I didn't have it turned on so you guys could see it, but that's oh, this is a good episode. This is the one where Quark and the shapeshifter get stuck on a planet, and they have to, of course, they have to work together in order to save their own asses or whatever. But that's a pretty good episode there. Anyway, I always have my TV. I got one TV on H&I. I love Heroes and Icons. It's the last TV channel that I care about, pretty much. All right. Anything else, guys? What else we got going on out there? Well, you guys, I'm waiting for you guys to text. Let's take a quick peek and see what's going on around. We've got tomorrow, we got launches tomorrow. There's one at Kennedy at 4:14 p.m. tomorrow. There's one in China tomorrow at 5:10 p.m. and another one at 10 p.m. From New Zealand. So and another one from China. So there's actually 4 launches tomorrow of shit going up into space. Then we got 3 on the 9th. China, Cape Canaveral, Florida, and China. China is putting up their own Starlink system, guys. So, and then you got Falcon 9 on the 10th from California, Vandenberg. And then you got Cape Canaveral on the 11th and China on the 11th. So there you go. Busy launch schedule this week. Very busy launch schedule this week. I'm currently checking. And there is a forecast for a G1 storm over the next 12 hours. So there's a possibility of some minor auroras up in the northern latitudes over the next few hours. Let's see here. Yes, Mom Kitty. All right, so let me turn this on here. I'm working on ways to where I can provide this stuff easier, where I'm one button and I can do this and this and this. But I'm still working on how exactly it's all going to work. So. I was able to do it for like space weather. I'm able to hit this one button and I can bring you guys space weather just like that, and it's auto updated. It updates right when it pulls it up. And while we're here, we'll just go ahead and mention that the solar flux is starting to come down, and the That's not really good for radio. You want the solar flux to be high, but the K index is 0. The geomagnetic field is completely inactive. That means it's smooth as glass up there, and you might actually get some really cool propagation right now. But anyway, I'm working on being able to do this kind of thing with all of my different ones. Anyway, this one is this is earthquakes. Taking a look around here. We're still getting ones with this cluster up here. That looks like all that's happened today. That's that same cluster we looked at last night. Don't really see anything else. Everything else is at least a day old. I guess this map doesn't do the other side. Oh, there it goes. All right, I just put it on last week, so this is 7 days worth of earthquakes. Nothing necessarily that significant to talk about, but we will keep an eye on it as always. I think my chat room died. I'm sitting here looking at the same chat for a while now. Let me reset my chat room. Nope, that's it. Okay, so if there's anything else you want me to bring up or discuss, let me know. Oh, that sucked. I'm looking, I don't see anything. I haven't seen any, if there's any NFL controversies coming out yet. Alright, I don't see anything really else in here. Nope. Okay. Let's see here. Yeah, no problem, Victor. I love doing it. I'm glad you guys all came in tonight. I appreciate it. And like I said, we are continuing to watch what's going on around, but there's just not a lot going on today. Isn't that right, Mama? I do appreciate it, and again, I appreciate the super chat earlier. Thank you very much. Yeah, so there we go. We had a good talk about medicines and homeless people. What are we climbing the ladder? Oh boy! Look at this, guys. We're climbing the ladder. What are we doing? You see this? Oh, here comes Daddy Kitty. There we go. Oh. Mama's got Daddy Kitty now. Here we go. They're going to get fighting. We don't really have domestics. Mom and Daddy get along pretty good. Isn't that right? Yeah. Every now and then, he'll walk up the wrong way and she'll just smack the shit out of him. You know, kind of like a human relationship. Yeah. That's my D-dog Kiko. He's a big old baby. You can scratch this cat as hard as you can scratch him, and he loves it. I'd love to show you guys. Let me take a peek. I don't think the kittens are out there. It's a big old possum in my yard. I don't see that very often. Yeah. All right, guys, I'm going to let you go for tonight. I think that's going to do it. Yeah, some low-level political BS. That's what's always going on. Hey, Deploribus. Thank you for being here. Yep, that's pretty much all that's going on. Tomorrow's Monday. We're at the end. This is the beginning of a new news cycle. I'm sure you guys realize that. On the weekends, your politicians don't want to work. Your news people don't want to work. Nobody wants to do anything on the weekends. So literally the news like grinds almost to a halt. And then all of a sudden Monday it lightens right back up with all the ignorant horse shit that you see all the time everywhere. So yeah, that's usually how it works. All right, well, what are you two doing? She's bleeping. She literally has her tongue hanging out. All right. All right, guys, I'm going to go ahead and clear out. I'll be back tomorrow night. We'll do it again tomorrow night. We'll hang out. We'll see what's going on. We had a lot of folks in tonight. 760 folks in tonight so far. That's really good. I do appreciate everybody coming in and spending the time and hitting that thumbs up and the subscribe button. And that new thing, what's it called? Shit, I've got to go read about this, and I haven't done it yet. Hype, I think it's called. If you guys can figure out how to hype a video, I don't know. Hype it. I don't. It's a whole new thing. I don't know. But anyway, all right. So I guess that's it. I don't think there's anything necessarily scheduling wise that's going on this week. I have a very busy week with a lot of things going on, but I do plan to be here every night with you guys, each night on the show. So hopefully everything will be good there, and try to keep some stuff going. All right, I guess that's about it, guys. It's been fun. We'll see you guys next time. And on behalf of Mama Bleep and Daddy Kitty, my name is Ian, and this is Starship Adventures, live from Starship Studios in Southwest Florida. This has been the Sights and Sounds of Earth, broadcasting on YouTube worldwide. We hope to see you guys tomorrow night at 9 p.m. for our next show. We'll see you then. Have a good night, everybody. 7 3s.